I've had that bug a couple of times, but only when I'm running XSplit. There we go. There's the screen sorting itself out. And let's turn designate camera on so it runs in directed even, so it runs in the background while I play with my settings. And borderless.
Actually, I just got the full screen version of that bug you just had, where you can only move your mouse in the bottom right corner of the screen.
Okay, directed camera, you can go away again and back. And we are in, and I need to change scene 1. There we go. And absolute legends are off. So far, it's just going to be a defensive setup. Nothing too aggressive. Watching their jungle, keeping an eye on it. And while I don't want to say it too early, Maluno might even be starting at his blue buff. Slepper is just scaring Cottonix off. Cottonix was sitting in that mid lane spamming his abilities just to bait. And Slepper tried to come and punish him from it, but it was a little bit too slow.
Then get out of here, Riven. I'm a giant robot.
That's a very good point. I've just noticed in chat. Prepared on Taric. Prepared left the AL team the same time as Cottonix. They were both replaced. Zinuk is currently on holiday with his family in some very warm, sunny Mediterranean place, as last I remember. And as a result, yes, Prepared is in to cover it. But so we have AL old and new sitting in this match. One on Na'Vi on Teamless, and I haven't updated my overlay. I am so good at this game.
Well, let me just talk through this then. We have Maluno starting at Wolves, actually. So this is going to be either a counter-jungling attempt once he gets that blue buff, or he will be going towards his own jungle, getting the red buff, and ganking top at level 3. It'll be a very effective gank. He'll do quite a bit of damage, have his cleavers, and it's going to be pretty hard for Nezreal to escape that, even with burnout. And God help him if he actually catches burnout on cooldown. At the same time, Cottonix has started red buff, taking quite a bit of damage, actually. He's going to be able to go ahead, go for an early gank most likely. Might just go ahead and jungle normally. I'm not too sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see Citizen get an early blue buff though, just to make sure his laning is safe, is awesome, and he gets that gold that Karthus really benefits from. Oh, this looks like a level 2 gank actually on the Absolute Legend in the bot lane.
They are watching. Sand drops a ward in the bush. Auto attacks prepared with the ones, and Cottonix is waiting. He's got his red buff, he's got his stun up, Slepper. Need to be careful not to get too close. As we wait and watch, top lane there's a little bit going on, but nothing too out of the ordinary. I'm waiting and I'm watching.
Team goes out onto Cottonix, I think they know. At the same time, you don't normally expect level 1 ganks onto, or level 2 ganks onto the bot lane with Soraka in that lane, so it's not that surprising that they're...
What you do expect is in the top lane, the taunt goes down to Nezreal as he's forced to flash away. The cleaver landed, the exhaust is out, the ignite is out, there's another cleaver. Maluno chases in, the auto attack goes down, that's first blood. Youngblood will flash away from the tower. AO survive completely, and first blood goes to Mundo.
Now that's something you don't want to see happen in a game, where both junglers go for ganks. When one jungler spends more time and doesn't get his gank off. Look at the CS difference between Mundo and Riven. 7 to 13, but that's more than a level. Because Mundo did get that assist. He does, oh actually that kill. That's going to be pretty big. And then Shen getting a kill early on onto Shyvana. Shyvana can snowball quite a bit, but the fact that she's going to be behind Shen just getting his constant Vorpal Blade pressure means he's going to have a lot of trouble actually surviving this lane now. He might require babysitting from Cottonix, and that's going to require a lot of time and effort that could be going to other lanes that will need their support and help.
That blue buff. Cottonix is going to start it. He's up to level 3. Boots 3 health potions, and now has Extinct Ahri doing mid. It's a horrible champion to play against, not even in Extinct's hands, and he's one of the best right now.
It's not an easy matchup, and realizing once again that Ahri has a bunch of mobility and can dodge Karthus' skill shots and wall. If Karthus gets out of position, those Foxfires will just melt him down. Foxfire is a great skill.
Mundo approaching the bottom lane from behind. He is in the tri-bush. And Sand is away from his carry. And Tijin, this is all on you. He's going to have Valkyrie. He Valkyries across the lane. That's probably not the ideal route. Does dodge that E from Slepper, the Noxian corrosive charge with a good flash. But that does mean his flash is down. That is enough. And in mid lane, Extinct, just as I mentioned how good he was, gets taken down by Cottonix and Citizen.
Alright, that's a very important pick because making sure that's... Oh.
Luna was diving bottom tower onto Sand, and he gets away safely. That ult, not ult, sorry, the heal from I think it was Antigen. Yeah, Antigen forced to put his summoner heal to keep sand up. Meant Molina had to walk on out of that.
Luckily, though, heal has a massive cooldown, 270 seconds, so it's a long time where they're not going to have that defensive option. And Slipper right now is going to apply pressure like crazy.
Sorry, Kotnex is coming into the top lane. Young Buck a little bit exposed, just taunt his way through it, and he will be out safely. So well played to him.
Lots of ganks going off. What is this, a League of Legends game? At not high elo?
And Kotnex is still waiting up there. He does come out again, just they start bottom. The taunt goes, or the stun goes down. He does taunt under the tower. They are tanking it. Young Buck, the ult comes out from Karthus. Young Buck will fall. Nezrealus did a great job of tanking the tower to keep Kotnex up. And he dashes out, and that's a massive wave of CS that Shen's just lost out on.
That was beautiful execution coming out. As Slipper's actually gone down to the red bar himself. But just the execution coming out, having Nezrealus stand just inside tower ranges. He was actually lifestealing off of creeps, auto-attacking there. Try to maximize his HP and make sure that Kotnex, who would have more damage with their cooldowns at that point, could actually get that kill. So that was just some great play coming out. Plus, Kotnex not even blowing his flash to escape that tower at the end. Just amazing coordination coming out from Navi.
2 and 1. So despite losing that first blood, they are still close. They are down by 400 gold. As Molina returns to his jungle. Yeah, Sand and Antigen. Let's see. Antigen's still got that first Doran's blade up. Slepper's been back. He's got himself 2 and some boots.
They're going to want to apply pressure right now before Absolute Legends can actually start getting their damage off. Because right now, without those boots, it's going to be hard for Antigen to dodge anything Urgot does.
Young Buck CS in a way. We do see fairly even in mid at the moment. Molina is waiting to make something happen. Citizen Wayne a little bit exposed. He's not got a ward here. He's in fact going to face check into Molina. There's the cleaver. There's the ult from Extinct. The charm missing actually. And that will be the end of the gank because of it. They're going to have to back away. It could have been very, very painful for poor Karthus.
Maximizing his distance by actually flashing over what was actually a very small chunk of wall, but enough so that Molina wasn't going to chase well. And already missing that charm, I think you didn't expect the flash to come out quite at that time. But yep, saving Citizen. I do like that Citizen immediately goes back into the jungle, checks to see if the enemy's doing red, and he might be hitting top for a gank actually, which you don't see, so Young Buck is not expecting this.
He's not. See, they just saw the gank mid. He's expecting Citizens to have gone to base, and suddenly, oh my god, there's a Karthus in melee. Flashing past the wall is a nice one. Does taunt past Citizen, gets under the tower, and is even dodging that last lay waste. So very nicely handled by Young Buck. Citizen is now on his way back down the river, and this time spotted by a ward, so they know he's on his way.
With that flash down, if we see Young Buck come out too far once again, and someone like Kotnex can really punish him again, because that taunt's going to give him a great deal of distance, but Kotnex has his flash up. He doesn't have his own. He's not going to be able to escape if it's a long gank.
I was watching Nezrealus fight top as Sand goes down bottom. Slepper grabbing that kill. They don't want to dive though. Prepared pops out the rest of his abilities, and Kotnex is coming down the river, so let's wait and watch this. How are Slepper and Prepared going to manage this bottom and lane?
There is no vision for Absolute Legends.
They expected it.
There is suspicion.
And now we've got Molina coming around the top side onto Nezrealus. He is on his way out. The ult's coming from Molina. Youngbuck doesn't want to chase this though. It's too many minions. He cannot risk losing all that CS.
Nezrealus would be very safe because he does have his flash ult combination up, which is like a billion distance. I think it's about 1100, which is massive.
And in fact, he's just going to ult under the tower. There's the Karthus ult and the Ignite's ticking. Let's watch Young Buck. Low and the Ignite not enough. 6 HP. Wow. Well, the calculations not quite where they used to be, as Molina takes massive damage from Nezrealus just in the face under the tower. He does land a good cleave, and that might be all it takes. Nezrealus does fall. Molina surviving. Wow. Don't you wish you had a Karthus ult right now?
Just a bit. Well, the funny thing is, my guess is if Citizen actually not used his ult there, Molina wouldn't have been low enough for Nezrealus to actually think about diving him. But as it all goes on, we see Molina in the top lane. What do you do as Absolute, or not as Absolute Legends, as Ultimate Kotnex? What do you do as Navi?
You take a dragon. And
take a dragon. And this happens very commonly. You'll see in the Citizen's actually dove on by Extinct,
who missed his charm again. There's the Shen ult coming out. Citizen is still the target, and he does drop to that true damage. Young Buck realizing he's dead, going down onto The rest of the lane, Slepper's taken out by Kotanex, Antigen and Sand, but they're still being chased by Youngbuck, and now Prepared joining in. Maluno is here. Youngbuck forcing the flash from Sand so that he cannot taunt, and they're not going to dive that under the tower. Despite the lack of mana on Corki, not worth the risk.
And that was actually kind of sloppy from Absolute Legends. They did pick up the Citizen, which is a great kill. But at the same time, Slepper dies, and we have Nesralas back in the top lane, pushing it, getting all the CS and gold that Youngbuck he's going to miss out on some, and he's wasting just a lot of time not being in that top lane when he didn't need to actually ult onto Extinct. There was no mana for Citizen to actually get that kill.
Extinct has Max's W instead of his Q when he's laning against Karthus. What's his thought process behind that?
Foxfire, just go ahead, stay mobile, stay in your Karthus, what can he do against you? What is that skill called? His Defile does quite a bit of damage, but he's not going to have that at very high ranks early on. You can just hang around Karthus and kill him, like, passively. Why use skill shots when just use random targeted skills? Luno's hanging out in that top lane. Luno's back in that top lane.
Slepper takes quite a bit of a burst from Antigen. Prepared obviously doesn't have the greatest CC, that's not how Taric works, and he takes another rocket to the face. And they are in fact going to recall. I don't know, 3 kills to 4. First dragon already dead, Na'Vi picked that up. And they are up by 1,000 gold. It's been an exciting one so far, as we see Continex waiting mid.
Extinct waits in the bushes below mid.
Continex goes in, doesn't land the knockback, lands the stun, just a little bit of extra damage, and that's another charm missed. Extinct's doing great landing those today.
Well, I mean, the truth is, charm is not easy to land, especially because players are...
I was just agreeing. Charms are not easy to land.
Oh, I thought it was like something's going on. Like, oh, what's going on? But if you think about it, like they're not in positions where you're forced to move somewhere. Like against the wall, for example, is a great place to charm because you have to move away from the wall or just next to the wall. But these are just kind of like in these wide open positions, and it's not easy to land, especially against players like this.
Maluno standing then on a ward in the bottom lane, waiting to get a gank that's never going to come. And Kotanex is in fact doing his golems too, so he was ready to help should anything really kick off. Leopard missing his E again. Antigen's actually chasing it all the way down. Maybe a little bit keen, considering, as I just said, Kotanex has changed his mind. Maluno is gone. Slepper takes the exhaust. That's on cooldown now. Sand's taking half of his health in damage. Antigen's got his summoner heal back up. Slepper doesn't.
That might have seemed like kind of a silly dive, you know, going and using your Valkyrie, but they're just going to sustain that all back up, because that's what this Soraka is going to do, that's what they want the lane to be like right now. Slepper, any damage he takes is more or less permanent, because Taric only has a level 1 heal, which is, I believe, 60 HP right now? Yeah, 60 HP versus the 280 coming out from Sand.
Slepper flashing in, swapping Sand. Kotanex is here, Maluno is back, Karthus has come back, and Slepper is already on the run. He's got no mana, he's now got no health, and he will, not quite fall to Antigen. The ult comes out from Shen to save, and the ult comes back and Kotanex doesn't finish him. Maluno's got an Oracles, he doesn't want to lose this. Shen didn't actually finish his teleport, he just used it for the shield. Now Maluno gets slowed by Citizen, he gets exhausted, he's going to lose this Oracle. There it goes, shut down. Na'Vi, Citizen Wayne grabs that gold bonus, the Oracle being dead. 1-for-1 trade with that dead Oracle's not worth it at all, especially as Soraka was the target for Na'Vi.
Pretty much the worst person that could have died for Na'Vi, or for Absolute Legends. Soraka dying, she's 0-2, only worth about 270 gold at that death. And you're losing an Oracles and a killing spree going to a person. Also, top lane, Youngbuck actually tried to ult, but Nesralas went in there, took some tower shots, and dragged him out of it.
Oh, so
that was actually cool.
Alright, so he was trying to go all the way, he didn't cancel it himself. In fact, can you cancel that yourself? I didn't think it was possible. There's Shen. In fact, there are Kotanex and Citizen Wayne making their way up top trying to gank this Shen. He doesn't land that charm, but he gets caught in the slope, forced to pop his ult to get under the tower. Extinct is out safely, calmly using those ult. Rather than spamming them all frantically, he might have ended up in the wall. He can use it safely, and Na'Vi now surrounding this tower. Maluno has arrived. Extinct does get a good charm out under the tower, but flashes away from it. Nesralas will survive because of it. Na'Vi actually taking or losing Kotanex. AO Youngbuck kills AO Kotanex. That's so weird to see. But again, 1-for-1 exchange. Jungler for mid laner.
And And a bit of a misplay from Extinct. He really needed to actually back up towards Maluno, coming towards them. A lot of towards in that statement, but he needed to run away towards his team. I understand why he ran away from the tower, but had they actually chased him into Maluno, Maluno could have done a great job cleaning up that very low HP composition right there. Only Citizen had a decent chunk of HP, and well, he's pretty easy to kill in all honesty, even with the ROA already finished.
These are not the champions I'm wanting to find. That's the one.
Looking at the bot line, Corki's doing really well for himself. 119 to 103
Everyone
CS.
stopped moving. The minions are bugging out.
Oh, well, the game's going on perfectly for me, so that really sucks because I wish I was the one bugging out instead.
Well, I'm not dropping any frames, and I can still hear you. So what's going on?
What's going on? Well, it looks like Absolute Legend's going to roam towards that dragon to try and pick up a dragon kill. At the same time, we have all of Na'Vi. Actually, Prepared's being dove on in the bot lane. This is like a radio announcement, so he's taking damage from Cotton X. He dies to Citizen, who is down there not with his ult. We saw 4 people from Na'Vi in the bot lane. Slepper trying to use ult to start a fight, taking some damage from Cotton X in the process. Cotton X dove on by Shen, getting low. Slepper uses ult to try and start a fight. The fight has started. It looks like AL's coming out ahead, and they disengage 2 for 1 in that exchange.
This is still frozen up in my end, and I don't have an option to reconnect yet, so I might have to wait for it out. There we go, now it's catching up. It's going to be a bit of a jumpy bit here, guys, so bear with it. And it freezes up again. And
Oh, did it freeze again?
Again, there we go. Still not quite there.
This is an awesome fight.
There it goes again. Oh my god, we missed so much with that.
Do you want to rewind?
Yes. Let's rewind it. Can you stay on live just in case something big does happen? Let's go back to...
Well,
I
okay.
think it was
All right.
14.5 minutes. Let's take the directed camera off.
Oh.
And yes, 14.5 minutes. Cottonex makes his way down to the bottom lane. And no, this, yep, 17 minutes. Here we go.
Like 15 and a half, maybe 16.
Okay, let's go to 16 minutes. And there we go. There is the start of the fight. Citizen Wayne grabs the kill unprepared using it. Or gank in the bottom lane. Slepper's still down here. Cottonex, Antigen, Sand are all approaching. Young Buck and Maluno are here. Extinct is making his way. Cottonex catching a cleaver in the back. Slepper's really low. There's a good taunt goes out onto Cottonex. The switch goes onto Sand, pursuing the backside. Cottonex will fall. Sand is the focus for AL. Slepper and Maluno are really low, but they're still here. Nezalis has arrived. It is 3v4, but AL are losing quite a bit of health, and this fight is not over yet. Nezalis coming around the backside. Young Buck and Extinct. Extinct missing that charm again. Maluno is off up the top side. He's got another Oracle's up. There's a taunt lands on Citizen Wayne and Nezrela. Citizen's still standing. Will finally fall. They back away. And he's still doing a lot of damage. This is Karthus. There goes the ult. Slepper saved by that shield, but Shen will fall down himself. Extinct is being chased by Nezrelas. Needs to get away from that Q. Drops to the E. Slepper falls to Nezrelas. Maluno is there. He does not want to fight that Antigen, and that's going to be the end of our fight. 10 kills to 9, and they are keeping this margin. Can I go back to live, or is there something I've missed in between the two?
Absolute Legends has picked up Dragon. There were no kills. Just some bit of poking back and forth. Nothing too exciting. Nothing as exciting as that fight right there. That was a fantastic fight.
Okay, so Dragon is dead. We're back on live. ALR, wow, gold count is slap bang even. 1 tower each, and it's right in the middle. I'm going to consider that maybe big-headed, but I'm going to consider that a win on the use of that replay mode. That went quite well.
Yep. Pretty cool mode. Good job, Ryan. Good job. And the bugs have been minimal. My favorite bug is actually when you use /R to reply to somebody in-game, which, by the way, you can do that. You can type /R, it'll respond to a message if you're playing a game, and somebody who's whispered you in the past. And /whisper, the player name, is actually how you message people. A lot of people don't know that, actually. It'll eat up the first letter in your message.
Okay.
It's a fun little bug. Like, it's a great system and a fun little bug with it.
Well, either way, thank you to Riot. That little addition there just saved us the lag. You well played. And the bottom tower is going to be pushed down by Antigen. He's doing a fair bit of damage to it. What items is he sitting on now? Bloodthirster. And the beginnings of a phase. Doesn't quite finish the tower off as prepared, and Slepper approach. Sand is here as well. Maluno's here. Here is his ultimate. The Valkyrie away is enough. And it's going to be
the Oracle's up on Maluno.
Yeah, that's his second one. He grabbed that in the fight. Karthus ult goes out. Why? Where is it needed? No idea. What was the point in that?
That could have been a misclick.
I have a feeling it might have been. Cortex is really low in mid. Extinct is now fighting Citizen. He's been exhausted. Takes the ult from Shen. And Citizen runs on out there to safety.
Nothing in chat about it, so no idea what that was.
Well, he'd just done blue buff, so he may have been hitting his buttons to kill the blue buff, and then accidentally hit R. That was confusing. Yeah.
Youngbuck actually catching Citizen out in the jungle doing his golems. Youngbuck taking the damage himself now.
His taunt trying to get closer to Slepper. He is safe. He took quite a bit of poke.
Now, the question is who's going to start winning these team fights if they do get into them? And it's one of those questions where, well, it depends on positioning. How they start the fight. If Urgot can get a great ult onto somebody they want to burst down instantly and just back away from that fight, or even just follow that up with more chase, that's great. But Shen can also start fights pretty well himself. And you compare that to Na'Vi, who their initiation is mostly going to be Karthus and Shyvana and Riven, who aren't quite as CC oriented, but rather dive on the enemy team. And they will die themselves, but deal quite a bit of damage in doing so. A Shyvana with farm, especially from a lane instead of the jungle, is going to be really hard to deal with for any team. And there isn't quite as much knockback, but there's some really good peel in the Ahri charm, the Shen taunt, that can keep people protected, but who do you protect? The Urgot's going to be tanky and self-reliant, so I don't really know.
Slepper, wow. I just got it on the map. He was surrounded by 4 people taking all kinds of damage, including Cortenex's ultimate under that tower. And that's a 4-man push now for Na'Vi onto this tier 2 in the bot lane. And AL are really spread out a bit.
They should be able to pick up this tower. We see that is there any vision? There is actually no vision on Baron, so I'm surprised that we don't see suspicions of that coming out from Na'Vi, but they know that if we do see AL go for Baron, they could push down 2 turrets easily, maybe even get an inhibitor.
There it is. I don't know, this is confusing me. AL, the charm actually lands on Antigen. He's going to take quite a bit of punishment from it. Does get exhausted. Maluna gets an exhaust as well. They're going to keep chasing it. Extinct has blocked his ult. He's going to keep chasing onto Antigen. The ult comes out onto Extinct from Shen. He's right in the middle of it. He's going to come in and he should be able to get a good ult off. He doesn't actually get his ult off. He gets cancelled again by Nezrelas. That's been going on in the top lane. We'll have a quick check up there in a minute. Maluna chasing Citizen, forcing him to flash over the wall. Sand going really low. We'll take that Q from Slepper. Kill goes to Extinct. Codness is still running. Great charm through the wall. And Ahri grabs that kill. And here is the top lane. Young Buck and Nezrelas both equally low. Had that fight going on, and the ult was cancelled, but that's going to be AL. You can see it right now. They're making a beeline all the way up to that Baron pen.
Nezrelas going down to Young Buck in the top lane. Will Young Buck die? They're so close on HP. Oh man. So there is no way that Na'Vi can defend this Baron. With so many people dead, with Citizen in low health, with Nezrelas at 80 HP, barely hitting 100 with regen right now, that Baron is going to absolute legends.
Karthus' ult was up when Shen went down that low. Citizen didn't use it.
Might have been out of mana actually.
He was on the fountain. He just recalled from that fight.
Oh, I can check that.
It was a little bit confusing. But Baron dies to absolute legends. They are now up by just under 2,000 gold. And with this champion team comp and positioning, they are looking really, really strong right now. Na'Vi going to have to do something special. I mean, they're not too far behind. This game can still go either way. But I have faith in absolute legends. I'm going to get shouted at for being biased because of it, but I have faith. As Na'Vi shoved down in mid-tower. I mean, too many people don't do this. They go, oh my god, they've got Baron, let's run and hide. And it's like, well no, because they've just got Baron. Now they've all recalled and shopped. You watch them recall and shop. Go and do something while they're back in base. You might as well get the best out of a bad situation. That's exactly what Na'Vi just did. They grabbed a tower, they're going to grab a dragon, but they might actually have left the dragon a little bit too late. Cotnex forced to flash, but he gets out safely. That's what matters. Na'Vi caught that gold, or made up the gold. They just lost to the Baron with a dragon and that tower. And they still have to fight off this buff, which is massive.
A totally equal game in terms of gold. 100 gold difference. That's like they're actually closing in. It's less than 100. We'll see them be equal for a brief second. This is just such a close game. I really don't know who's ahead right now. AL has to make some moves with that Baron though. Because eventually Corki will become that hard carry that Corki is, and Urgot will not have the same damage. So they're once again on a timer, especially against Citizen on Karthus too, actually. So we have two really good late game carries. Extinct is going to be great late game, so will Maluno. There isn't the same Janna presence or knockback presence that will keep someone like Maluno out on Mundo, but it's going to all come down to getting Corki later on. And they still have Shyvana, they still have Riven, some CCs, and the pullback from Shyvana will be great. And the Soraka healing and armor buff once again make someone like Antigen really tanky. So I think Absolute is on a bit of a timer, not too bad though. This game could go out for another 15 or so minutes, and they'd still be in a fine position if they regrow on gold. 20 or so, and then it's getting kind of scary.
So, they've got Baron for just under another 2 minutes. Young Buck and Nezrelas trading again in the top lane. It's not so even right now up there. With that new Sunfire Cape as well on the Young Buck recently changed in the last patch.
Sunfire Cape is one of those items that's been changed so many times. It used to cost less, do more damage, do less damage.
I remember when it wasn't
have
unique,
more HP, have more armor. Oh yeah, not be unique. Those were good times. You can make a really good tanky build out of that one.
That was just my Garen build. It was just Sunfires. So I was one of those kids back when I started the game.
Well, you know what? The battle train does have you looking at Garen. That could be it. Coming into play, the Riot training, the Riot brainwashing.
AL shoving the bot lane then. They just had the 3 people, did what poke they could to the tower, but that's the end of it. Slepa is back up top. A little bit odd as to why, because the rest of Na'Vi are all in the bottom lane. So these 3 members of AL need to make sure they don't get caught. They are back and they are safe.
Same time though, they don't know where Slepa is. He hasn't been spotted by a ward, he hasn't shown his face too much in lane. So he could be nearby, and they could be scared of him. Well, they are scared of him. They're scared of all of Absolute Legends right now.
Cosmex takes a bit of poke. He does actually land a knock up and a stun onto Extinct, force the ult out of him. He's going to force a flash at Citizen Wayne. The exhaust goes down onto Maluna. The exhaust goes down onto Citizen. Ult comes out from Shen, goes down onto Extinct. First death is going to be Karthus. Youngbuck actually gets his ult off this time, doesn't get cancelled. Karthus' ult comes out, but Cosmex and Sand are really low. Maluna still chasing. There's a great Q from Ahri, grabs almost a double kill. Maluna actually gets 1. There's a good cleaver. Antigen's being chased. Extinct will grab that kill unless Maluna steals it. Maluna steals it, not a problem, as Nezrelas has just arrived. Does get a good ult across everyone. Maluna tanking the tower the whole time. Doesn't matter. Shen grabs the kill and Slepa. Fine, I'll face tank the tower. There's 4 of us here. Prepared died, so what? We're going to grab a tower and possibly even an inhib just as Baron runs out.
A great move right there. It was actually very risky for Na'Vi to go for that fight because once they started chasing, they didn't disengage. And was against something like Ahri, for example, you can't do that. Ahri's Foxfire has a 4-second cooldown. I love saying this, or 3.3-second cooldown right now. So as they chased, they took lots of poke and they were getting kited by a team that actually doesn't excel at kiting, which is the weird part. But you see the Mundo cleavers coming out, slowing people. We see a fight actually start. Cottonex taking some damage. Citizen going to go down.
Swap goes out to Sand. He shots him into Maluna and Young Buck. He will finish it off. Extinct diving under the towers, trying to get this Cottonex. Does land a good charm. 1 more Q will be enough. Cottonex stays away for that reason. Maluna pops his ult on the run out, and that will be AL picking up another 2 kills for nothing as they run away from their base. That's a little bit sloppy from Na'Vi, and they may have just signed their own death warrant.
That's a 6,000 gold lead right now. That was not there 3 minutes ago, actually. What was once a very even game right now, just a huge tilt in favor of Absolute Legends. We can still see Na'Vi come back, but if they get into engagements like that, where they're not using their front line to actually tank, but rather chase, they're going to keep losing engagements. That was just very odd to see that happen. But the lack of hard CC really showing for Na'Vi's team. Because who has a reliable, long-lasting stun like Taric's stun, or a good AoE stun like Young Buck on Shen? No one. It's Cottonex's stun is their only stun, and they also have a bit of a knock up / knock pullback on Nezreala. And that lack of CC really does come into play. I remember when you first start playing League of Legends, people always say, just pick somebody with CC. And sometimes you just have to.
Yeah. You just, I mean, in less coordinated situations, like solo queue, the more you can stun people, the more chance your team has. There's more room for mistakes when your enemies can't do anything, so if you stun them, they can't do anything, simple as that. This kind of level of play, it's a little bit different admittedly, but same thing applies. If your opponents are stunned, they can't do anything, regardless of how well coordinated they are.
And because of that, we can see Absolute Legends start a team fight on their own terms, and right there, that was a good chance for Na'Vi to fight. Urgot wasn't there. We saw Youngblood still had an ult in, and that was their chance to start a fight, but because they had no hard CC, well, if the enemy can do something like you said, they can get away, and they just kept fighting them. And I hope they don't do that again. But Baron should be up soon. That will be the source of the next big fight. I expect less of a Baron, little Baron clear fest of just killing wards to happen, just because we have such good initiation from Absolute Legends on the Urgot and Shen combo.
Slepper very nearly caught out. Actually got forced to flash over to the Baron Pence. That's a flash down on Slepper, so no fear of a flash swap engage now, as far as Na'Vi are concerned. But it's still got that Urgot in contention. Let's wait and watch it. The Baron has just respawned, and they are getting their buffs up, and Na'Vi have to go and look after their bottom lane, because there's super creeps knocking on their door.
They also picked up Dragon in that exchange. So what we could see here is that big creep wave in the bot lane. Once somebody goes to clear it, just to have AL go ahead and take Baron, or they might just go for it now. Nope. That'd be scary. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, they're sending Shen actually to continue the push down here. As he's got ult, he can come into the team fight, so why not make him as annoying as possible? And he is right in the Na'Vi base. Cosmix leads the charge, misses the stun. Slepper gets stunned, gets slowed from Citizen Wayne. Na'Vi, they've got Extinct in the backside, chasing Antigen now. Antigen's done no damage so far. We'll watch that in a minute, but Slepper is the focus for Na'Vi. He's going to be the first one to fall, but not before Karthus and Antigen are down. Ult comes out, a young buck prepared, and Maluna going as low as they need to be, but Nezrelas will go in the middle of everyone. He falls. Kotonix is already down. Sand is the only remaining member. The ult did come out from Shen onto Extinct while he was chasing Antigen, and Sand is still running. He should be safe, but there is already a dead turret. Second one being ripped apart by super creeps, and the entire AL team is going to come and take down the mid turret. That may just be it.
Surrender vote came out. GG WPs too.
GG, well played. As we switch across, and there it is. Na'Vi had a good run. We've seen some good games, but Absolute Legends have come in to take this one.
And that really was a close game for 90% of it, with goal levels being equal. Just a great engage from Absolute Legends, and then a few slip-ups, a few picks here and there led to that Baron buff.